DC20 is here to stay, and that statement means a lot. We did it across the board on many levels of what I've been saying, but for those of you who know this development journey of it starting with me on my borrowed school laptop because I didn't have a computer of any kind and I was typing out rules on that by myself alone. Fast forward 5 years to now where DC20 is a multi-million-dollar Kickstarter. Still feels weird to say that I'm filming this the day after it all happened. I'm still soak it all in. So this video is a bit different. I don't got any lights on. It's just us right here. I don't care about the algorithm. I just want to stop and say thank you to the countless people along the way of this journey leading us to this point. There are countless people that have been a part of this journey, and you, even right now watching this video, are part of that in some way. However big or small that is, and that's the beauty of it, because everyone plays a role in this. And without all of those people, I would just be playing DC20 with my home group, and that's it. So in this wild swirl of emotions, I want to capture all of the most real moments. So we'll start off with that clip where I got hit with that gut punch of emotion. Then we'll take a big step back and talk about some of the little key points along the way that has led us to this point. And then I also want to talk about y'all, the viewers, the community watching this video right now. And then we'll send it off with a live stream where I break down and cry some more, talking about my wife and the role that she's played in all of this, and everyone on my team, and across the board all the way through. All right, let's go back to when it all first hit me. Thank you, guys. It's funny that this is where we're at right now as far as time goes. We're about 12 hours away, but we did it. Some of y'all know this, but I've had to turn into a robot, a content zombie, these last 2 years have been a lot since making the leap to full time, and then with everything going on and everything that I went and made the full leap time, I can't talk. 3 months after the leap to full time, the OGL happened, and I had to scramble, make some moves, and some of y'all have seen that. So for those who don't know, DC20 was going to be something I launched in like 2028 or something, after the new whatever version of D&D came out, and had some time, and then, you know, okay, cool, let that die down. And then, you know, I've always wanted to launch my own game system. I've always had ideas for DC20. I've been playing this and that, little baby versions and stuff, but I was like, okay, it's time to pull the trigger on this now. And then I did, and the clock started ticking and the funds started dwindling down, because the only way to really survive in the TTRPG content creation space is D&D. So that whittled down, and then I launched the alpha, and then that started whittling down, and I got to the point where the bank account was literally like less than $400. I had commissioned a piece of art, and I could not pay the artist yet. Luckily, there was like, hey, I got you, just give me some, I got you, and then I've got him, I paid him back for it. So thank you for all the people across the board on my team, artists, commissions, other YouTubers, ad spots and stuff that I owe you one. I got you, but yeah, and things had bottomed out, and it got to the point where I had to have the conversation or start thinking about going back to teaching, and DC20 not being able to make it across the finish line. And then Will from D&D Shorts. I genuinely don't know if Will knows that he was saved it. He made a video completely unrelated to DC20, and then just talked about kind of the landscape of what was going on, and he mentioned DC20 and that he thought it was like an evolution of the, you know, the way that what D&D 6e should have been and all this stuff. And he just gave his own plug for it. I had no idea about it, didn't even know what was going to happen. And then there was like $2,000 of website sales that day. And if that hadn't happened, that gave just enough fuel to be like, you know what? Okay. Maybe I can. And we're months away from the potential launch of the Kickstarter. Oh, you know what? Okay, I think I can push towards this Kickstarter. So then with the Kickstarter in sight and the approval from my wife to keep taking this risk, we kept going, dipped into some other funds here and there, cashed out whatever, and got to the point where even right now, as I'm filming this video, on the last day of the Kickstarter, the bank account's at $128, and there's lots of people that I'm like, hey, we made it to the thing. I'm good for it now, right? So again, that's just a thank you to the people that have believed in this and believed in whether it be the game system or whether it's me, and they've trusted me enough to know that I promise that I'll pay them back. I have duct taped and this whole thing together to be able to get this wagon, whatever that Zack put a video on that. There's that scene where there's like some sort of cart going downhill and the wheels are falling off. Yeah, that's DC20, but we crossed the finish line, and now it's not going to be a cart with duct tape. It's going to be the next big tabletop roleplay game to hit the scene, and it's here to stay. Even it's here to stay. For 2 years not knowing if I was going to be able to keep doing this. Now I don't have to worry about that. My family doesn't have to worry about that. Not that my 4-year-old and 1-year-old understand that, but they eventually will, and see that, and to see that a community that got behind Dad's game is why we're okay now. So thank you for that. So I have no idea where this clip is going to go in the middle of this thank you video. But I was just hit after announcing all the stuff about the VTTs as things keep ratcheting around. I wanted to stop and just film this mess of a raw reaction to all of this. I'll probably say something before, and I'll get things together in an organized way after. But this is the live reaction to it finally, I guess, hitting me. I've had my head down in the trenches and just go. And I think a lot of the comments in Discord that have been like, hey, stop. Hey, you did it. Hey, we did it. I think some of that just whittled through whatever sort of go mode that I was in. And it just finally hit me. So thank you all for that, as I'm sure I'm going to be saying multiple times in the rest of this. But we did it. Thank you. Ooh, okay. We're back. Now I want to talk about this community. When I say this community, I'm talking about the entire DC20 community, all the new people, all the old people who have been around for so long, and I'm also talking about the content creator community. This means a lot to me because I was a content creator, a third-party content creator for Dungeons & Dragons. So to see content creators come and make stuff about DC20 literally is crazy to me. And without it, we would not be as big as we are, and I know this. We all know about this from the OGL and how bad that was because it actually targeted third-party content creators. Their entire purpose is to lift up and support the game itself. I can't tell you how many years I poured into supporting and lifting up Dungeons & Dragons, as have all these other people. So now I truly want to thank the DC20 content creators, whether it be just one single video, an ad spot that you've seen them do, coming and play the game with me, the whole thing. Because if this was just me, this would not have happened. It is the entire community. I just got chills thinking about it. To be able to spread and reach out, literally reach out to get more people to see DC20, to give them an opportunity to join this community. So if it wasn't for these other content creators, we wouldn't have even had eyes on this project enough in the first place to be able to get the traction it did. Everything snowballs. So I'll quickly take you through this timeline, and we're going to go way back to Gary Con 2024. No, wait, 2023 Gary Con. This was the first place where DC20 saw the light of day in public. I did plenty of playtesting by myself in my own groups and other things, but this was the first time where I was literally just getting strangers, getting people that had no idea who I was. They didn't know the dungeon coach. They didn't know anything. They didn't know DC20. They knew nothing. And they played the 0.3 version of the game, which wasn't even ever released. And one of the first people to ever play DC20 in this way, and it was so fittingly so, was Luke from the DM Layer. He has been a peer, friend, mentor, guide through this whole thing. He was a YouTuber before I was. He picked me up, took me under his wing. Would not know and be as successful without him. So thank you, Luke. All my playtests at Gary Con were with complete strangers, but that last playtest, Luke was at the table, super exciting. And I didn't even know this at the time, but the rest of that table who had signed up through the Gary Con thing were the Pocket Dimension, who's a new up and coming YouTube channel. They only had like 20 subscribers at the time, and now they just hit 1,000, and they've loved up DC20. And to see the light in their eyes whenever I was explaining the game It's huge. Then we fast forward to 2023 Gen Con, where I polished off the game a bit, ready to go. And I apologize to all the content creators that I poked and annoyed to play DC20 with me, please. But a lot of you did. And we had a blast. I have the group list right here. The first group was Professor Dungeon Master, again, Luke from the DM layer, Gallant Goblin, Baron DeRop, Dungeon Masterpiece. We played in the secret train station and we played the game. Awesome. Next playtest, Will from D&D Shorts, Jordan with a PH is silent, and some other people from my team that went and played. And see, there's Will's first time showing here, like I talked about earlier in the crying video, where Will made his first entrance to the scene. And then I did a private playtest for Duke from One Shot Questers and his entire team. It was absolutely crazy to first of all meet Duke, super awesome guy, and one of his team members, Jakin, launched his own YouTube channel called Swordplay and Sorcery, and he's now making pretty much nothing but DC20 content. So props for Jakin for taking a leap of faith on DC20. But that One Questers one shot was absolutely wild, and we'll talk more about Duke here in a second. Then I finished off Gen Con with another one shot with the Pocket Dimensions coming in for round 2. Super amazing, even though I couldn't speak at all. Then now with that gauntlet of playtesting done, I could actually launch the alpha of DC20. And this is that first moment that I talked about after Gen Con, after all these things. I was spent the entirety of the DC20 funds and project, and everything was literally gone. Now, nobody knew this. I didn't make this public. I didn't do anything like that, but I launched the alpha of DC20, and that wild success that was, and the amount of people that came to check it out and see what was going on. I'm like, oh, what's this game? That absolutely kept things going afloat. And you know who was there in that boat helping me patch things up, even if he didn't know the boat was sinking, is Duke from One Shot Questers. Duke was with me. Zack, please show the clip of a live stream where Duke announced the launch of DC20's alpha with me. So right now, DC20 is live right now. The alpha is completed. I am launching the alpha. This live stream right now, I'm going to do it. One of the biggest D&D YouTube channels came in out of nowhere, swept up little old me and was like, hey, let's do this. It meant the world to me. Super genuine guy with all that excitement. It was so much fun to launch the thing. He did a one shot on his channel with the whole thing, and seeing him be so excited about DC20 really meant a lot, and it got a whole bunch of things going. And then that leads us now into the next phase of the YouTuber one shots. I did all my playtesting at GaryCon, Gen Con. Now it's time to get some YouTuber one shots together. The first one was with Luke from the DM layer. Once again, he's played this game so much, and he's freaking awesome. See, Duke from One Shot Questers, we just talked about him. My friend Bob, World Builder, and the great Treant Monk. We played, had a blast, posted on YouTube, and that was the first time people could actually see gameplay of DC20 be played. And this brings us to the second time where DC20 was saved unknowingly by a content creator. Timeout. I'm timeouting myself in this way right now. Anytime I'm talking about these content creators coming in and what I'm saying by saving the system, it takes both of us. It takes the community and then the content creators. It is I just got chills again. It is all of us to be able to do this. It's the content creators that make the videos for their audience that they can see it, and that community's be able to have the opportunity, like I said before, to make that choice on if this is interesting or not. And then we get some overlaps, and there's some awesome, beautiful blending and overlaps between all these different content creators communities. So when I say a content creator swept in and saved it, like I just talked about with Duke, and I said earlier with Will from D&D Shorts, it's also the community of theirs, which is y'all. So don't lose sight of y'all's role in this as well, and I'll get to y'all in a second too. Okay, back to it. Chris from Treant Monk. I don't even think he understands how much he did save this whole thing. Because again, the boat's sinking. There's patches and things are going, but we're just trying to get to the finish line. Treant Monk did a video on his channel talking about DC20, and he basically gave it his whole breakdown and gave a genuine seal of approval of his vote for it being a great game. And after that video, the community doubled. That bump kept us alive for a second, and without that bump, we would have hit rock bottom a whole nother time. So thank you, Chris. You didn't even know that you did that. Then we had our second YouTuber one shot where we had Mr. Rex, D&D Shorts, which again, here he is, another master optimizer of Colby from D4 Deep Dive and Lunch Break Heroes. We played, it was awesome, and that one shot and the other one shot are both going to be available in part of the one shot bundle that was part of the Kickstarter. So it's all connected. And this is the point in time where now Will from D&D Shorts comes into play. I already talked about it in the early emotional thing, and I'm already feeling some of that coming back here, but this is where Will stepped in, unknowingly saved DC20. And again, yes, it wasn't just him by himself and he donated money to me in any way. No, it was his community, which is now also part of the DC20 community, and you guys who came over and showed that support. And this is the perfect time to segue into the thank you of y'all, the ones watching this video. I got chills again just now because my job in making DC20 is supported and only possible by people from all over the world coming together and getting behind, getting underneath the game to lift it up. This is so wildly different from what I'm used to back in my old teaching job of some government job where you have your salary and you get paid and you have students every year. They come through and you get the same every check. No matter how good or bad the school year is going, you get the same paycheck every time. It's super consistent, and this is way more wild, but what it is isn't just some paycheck that comes from the government as a teacher. This is you guys, how well things do, however good, however bad, however crazy it could be. It comes from you guys. And the surge of this Kickstarter, all the different support that I've had from we've increased the Patreon by over 300 people in the last 2 weeks. So both of those things together is just a surge of people getting behind and lifting up DC20, not only to support me to be able to do this thing and my team to be able to do this thing even better, but to make DC20 even better and turn this game from something that was just getting patched together and trying to keep afloat to be able to even make and develop in the first place to something that has a extremely bright future with content for years and decades to come. And that is thanks to y'all from across the board. I just talked about Kickstarter backers and patrons. That's obvious and that's huge and that's super amount of support. I'm even also talking about people who come in and super chat something. People who came in and bought that alpha at that time where y'all didn't even realize that I needed it. Anyone that purchased the alpha, y'all collectively saved DC20. Anyone who's dipped their toes in the water in any way, shape, or form and financially bought something, whether it be through a website, Patreon, anything, is part of this. So please don't discount or undercut yourself. I want you to recognize yourself in the part of this whole big thing of what we have accomplished. And I'm not even done. Even if you haven't purchased anything, even if you've never pressed the like button, left a comment, and you've just purely watched videos and left, you have played a role, because DC20 wasn't launched by Critical Role or Matthew Colville or these other big, huge names in the industry. It was launched by Alan, the dungeon coach, and a relatively medium to smaller sized YouTube channel with a very specific niche of homebrewing 5th edition, who then this guy made his own game. Oh, another YouTuber making a game. So for someone like me, that means so much. Just watching a video on DC20 when everybody else in the world's watching videos about 5th edition and all this other kind of stuff, that means so much. It gets a little bit of traction. Maybe it's what algorithm stuff, whatever's going on, that means something. So thank you for that. And that all of this combining together is what made me want to make the DC20 Kickstarter have so much value in it. And when I've started down the wire in the home stretch of all these different stretch goals that were happening, I wanted to be able to find, anytime I got more rewards, I didn't add them on as add-ons to try and like, okay, well now I unlock this thing, buy an add-on, because Foundry and Alchemy and Demiplane and all these people came in and started to add more value. And I could have like, had add-ons and other things, and if you want to buy it, and then it adds more to the funds and all that. No, I just slapped it in there to that digital only tier and just poured essentially hundreds of dollars of value into it, because I am just floored by this amount of support. I'm just trying to find more ways to say thank you. And I know that probably the best way to say thank you is for me to just shut up and just start making DC20 and just go all in with that. And trust me, that's the goal. With all these funds and all these different things that are going so well, I'm going to be able to do just that. I'm going to be able to offload some of these things that I've had to juggle myself and bring on a team. And that team that I'm about to talk about right here in a second is going to be able to be empowered now, added to other things to be able to upgrade what we're possible of doing, so that maybe I can just walk in this office, sit down in this chair, and make DC20, and that's what I do for the day, instead of the circus of all the other hats and other things that I gotta do. And speaking of that team, man, my segues are on point right now. Speaking of that team, now this is what we're gonna talk about, the big breakdown of every person that did the role in this. It gets pretty emotional, especially starting with my wife right now. Starting to get emotional just thinking about it. So this is the live stream leading up to, you can actually probably see on the clips as well, the minutes ticking down of all of this. This is going to be edited down to keep it more concise, but this is my raw reaction, unscripted thank yous across the board to everyone who's been a part of this journey. And I'll talk more about that journey and some other things here to come at the end. Time out. This is a bit of a meta thank you, and meta meaning the person who is editing this video currently as we speak, Zack. This is the thank you for Zack. The man behind the scenes literally might be one of the hugest lifters since the beginning. Zack came on whenever I was first a teeny tiny YouTuber. I was editing videos on my phone, right? It took forever. The scrub wheels, it was terrible. Zack came on and he's like, hey, I edit videos. And I was like, hey, so don't have a, he's like, no, I just want to edit your videos. He edited my videos for free. Absolutely crazy. And got me through a time, saved me hours. Imagine at your job, if somebody just came up to you and you're like, hey, for like, you know, every week for like 4 hours, I'm just going to do your job for you. You know what I'm saying? You just can go do something else. The amount that I could do thanks to Zack. I don't even know if Zack understands that. It's been absolutely crazy. He's a better video editor than I ever was or ever would be. So thank you for that as well. So not only did he make things better, but he also cleared off some of my plate to give me while I was teaching and coaching and all the stuff. He came in, swept in, and gave me those 4 hours that literally created lots of stuff for you guys with. And my heart also goes out to him too for some of the amount of takes that I had to do in the early times when I was learning how to do all this whole YouTube thing and filming videos and talking and stuff and repeating myself and saying that. Thanks, Zack. Okay, to the live stream. Let's go into the shout out. So the first person I got to shout out, and this is no contest here, no surprise, no spoiler, whatever, is my wife. And it's ironic that you just super chatted just now, but yeah, I gotta thank my wife, y'all. I literally, oh, dang, already. Oh, I shouldn't have started with her. I literally couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without her. And there's all that, and that's very basic to say that. Oh, I couldn't do it without her. You know, you can say it all the time, but there's a certain amount of sacrifices that come with doing this and being able to create and start a YouTube channel with 0 subscribers and no social media base whatsoever, and turn that into a full-time job and then launch a tabletop role-play game system. Takes a lot of sacrifice, to say the least. And it's not just my sacrifice of hours of sleep lost and my own physical health of gaining weight and prioritizing here and staying up and sometimes spending days not sleeping and all this type of stuff. There's also like that. My sacrifice is visible to everyone. Y'all can even see me get tired. Y'all can see the amount of work that I'm doing and the amount of time that it takes, and then understand like, man, this guy's going a lot crazy. But my wife, her name's Sarah, but Sarah is the one that has to deal with that as a husband who is a robot sometimes, or stressed out wildly sometimes and not present, or I'm worried about this, that, or the other, and I have to, okay, I gotta send out this, and the PDF's not ready yet, and then Mark messages me because the PDF needs my feedback, and I need to give feedback, but we're at dinner, and I have to be able to, but then I shouldn't have and that's been 5 years of the hustle and grind that has been this, because I was never okay. I was never in a spot where I could be like, oh yeah, things are fine. And the only window where we almost had a shot at that was right after Al Kenner's Almanac just went full time. Things are looking good. OGL, 3 months into me going full time. Not good anymore. And we had that time had one kid, and we were pregnant with our second kid. So the version of me the version of me that she had to deal with was not my best self, husband wise. I had to do, and then we got kids, we got 1-year-old, 4-year-old. They don't know what kind of stuff. They don't know they don't know what sacrifice is in that capacity. So you do the best you can for your kids. And if there's anyone that has gotten the short end of the stick in that way, it's her. And I hate that. But we did it, right? And when I say we in that regard, I'm talking about me and her. We did it. We made it through that. And it's been rough. And yeah. So that is the first person I have to shout out, because there's been times where she takes on this or that, or I don't have this, or she takes on that, or I get to do work another 30 minutes, or I'm late coming to here, or I'm not there. And now I'm going to be able to just be a better man, be a better husband, father, all that stuff, because I don't have to have the overbearing weight of, hey, do I still have a job that can pay the bills? Is this still possible? You know, is that because yeah, that is now that's now no longer in question. I don't feel that pressure anymore because now I can truly just make DC20 the game that I love, the game that you guys love, and I can make it not from a place of fear and anxiety, but from a place of excitement, and not having to have all of that happen. So that might be there's a bit of a there's some personal stuff there, but that is her shout out. So yeah, we did it, babe. And thank you for putting up with me and all of that. As she, trust me, if anybody's telling me that I need to drink more water, get sleep, and all that kind of stuff, it's been her. So she's been looking out for me this whole time. And there's that. So there's her shouts. Thanks for all the purple hearts in the chat for her, y'all. So there's that. And then there's friends and family. There's my friends and family who I am not a very big people person. I'm a homebody. You'd be shocked to maybe hear this, but I'm a wild introvert. I am a huge introvert. So if my wife gets the short end of the stick and I'm not able to be there and hang out, I haven't hung out with my friends really ever. I just don't. And I'm a terrible friend for that regard because I just don't essentially have time. The only friends that I really do get to see are if we're doing like things on the weekend as a family with our kids. So there's that. Or if we are playing DC20. So yeah, I've been a terrible friend also. So I'm just going to be a better person after this too. So thank you guys for letting me be a better person. So yeah, my friends and family, I've always been the wild, weird nerd. I've been the weird, semi-autistic tendency, hyper-focused, just like, oh, I just only do this thing and I only want to talk about this one thing, and yeah, I have a bit of weird, different social things, and my friends have put up with that and indulged me in talking about this game I'm making or whatever, or maybe even played it with me. So thank y'all for that. And then my TTRPG group, thanks for letting me be a wild homebrew dungeon master who threw homebrew rules at y'all the first session I ever dungeon mastered. I literally played 3 sessions of D&D 5th edition. I played 3 sessions and I was like, okay, let me be the DM. Let me be the, okay, I see it. I got enough. Okay, cool. All right, I start a campaign. I'm going to start a campaign. And I started a campaign and I had homebrew rules right off the bat. So I could tell stories about that. But I've been homebrewing since my feet hit the ground. And then now here we are with a whole new system. So thanks for being a part of that wild ride through all the ups and downs of some of those early terrible homebrews. If you remember the hex crawl system, that was my worst early homebrew. And then we shift over to the team, right? The team, my team, I am so blessed. And I'm specifically using that word. People use that word all the time too. Oh, I feel so blessed. I feel so, but like that, this is the only time I'm using it. I am so lucky to have this team. I created a YouTube channel, had some cool homebrew ideas, and then people were like, you know what? I want to volunteer my time for free and help you do the thing that you're doing because I like what you're doing. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? People just donate their time to the things that I'm doing, and that is so crazy, especially early on, whenever there was $0 at all ever. No patrons, no views, the channel wasn't monetized. People coming in, helping out. So it's been crazy, that journey. And I so look forward to now that we can be successful, even at just the company level, so that my team can finally also get that level of success. Now, over time it's evolved so that, you know, it's like some people are just straight up volunteers. Some people have we have some sort of pay structure, and there's a business there. There's a little bit of something going on there. You know, we were figuring it out. But now we're going to be able to do something. I'm going to be able to truly give back in that regard, not just to the community with giving cool stuff and rewards and access and things and more stuff we can make for you guys, but the actual team that's doing it is going to be able to be taken care of more. So that's super exciting for me. And I'm very excited for that. So now specific people of the team is one of the people, Eddie Blanton in the chat right here, Purius. I first found him and met him through, he created a healing cantrip in 5th edition, and I created a healing cantrip
from 5th edition, and we had like a similar like vibe for our homebrew. I was like, dude, hey, this is awesome. And then we reached and we started talking, and then we started homebrewing together. And then fast forward, I was writing Alcander's Almanac, and then he would come in, and we worked on Alcander's Almanac together. And we have a super great dynamic. He's now the game design lead of the Dungeon Coach, the Dungeon Company, if you want to call it that. He's my right hand man when it comes to that. There's been countless Discord calls making DC20 back when I had the game system built out enough to where you could kind of play it, and I was like, hey Eddie, check this out. And we just talk about the rules from start to finish and bang ideas off of each other and all that kind of stuff. So that's been super crazy. And that was the early stages of DC20. Was literally just that. It's literally like 0.4, the first alpha launched. It was literally just that, right? And then Nexus enters the picture as the writing director of the Dungeon Company, and he completely ran and organized and took all of so many things off my plate to be able to take on the 5e playbooks that we did for Patreon. And he ran a writing team and all the stuff going on with it. And the writing team, shout out to the writing team. Where am I writing team at? Slit, AJ, KD&D, McPheen, DM Tippery, Cody, Blue Comet. This writing team who's been there from 5th edition and now are shifting over to DC20. They're getting ready to just think, what can we write for DC20? What's going on here? So that's just a shout out to them across the 5e to DC20 transition of a writing team that was able to keep us afloat, to be able to keep things going and take things off my plate so that I could create DC20 while we're in the transition from 5th edition to DC20. So that was huge. Sky, my editing director and like workhorse, getting things done, goes and finds things out for me. There's so many. He's almost like a personal assistant in that way, like an executive assistant is what he also is on top of all of everything. To where if I need something, he'll just go get it done, or we organize this. Hey, get this, do this, and the amount of things he takes off my shoulders, it gives me so much more time as well. So huge props to Sky. And then Mark is the one that turns all these PDFs into these PDFs. Mark is called Intrepid on Adventuring or on. Discord. I think he might have changed his name to Mark on there. But anyway, Mark is the one that lays out all these PDFs, makes them look the way they do. And we're actually also, sneak peek, we're going to be updating the way that these PDFs look as well and cleaning up some stuff based on some feedback and other things like that. So take that for what it is. And then when it comes to art, right? When it comes to art, I do want to give a little retroactive shout out here too. And a lot of you people in the community will know who this person is when I'm talking about it. But I want to give a shout out to Bug. If you guys know who Bug is, if y'all have been here any sort of time, you know who Bug is. Bug was my former art guy, right-hand man, as far as the art is concerned. Drew literally almost any sort of thing. The last Kickstarter was Bug. Huge shout out to Bug. And then the former art team from the back in the 5e days of Ava, Was, Tempest Rain. That little squad of artists got us through so many things early on. So that was absolutely huge. And Bug played a huge role in all things visual for the channel. Even Bug and Ava alone by themselves. I think one of the first things I asked Ava to do was, hey, can you make this more purple? And I sent Ava a picture and I was like, can you make it more purple? And then she sent it back to me. I was like, oh, thanks. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not tech savvy at all, especially when I first started. Get out of here. So yeah. And then, yeah, team odd for Bug. So yeah, Bug. And then, so the new people that have helped come in and pick up some of that art load and fill those big shoes that Bug had. Andrew Holcomb, if you guys haven't heard of that, he is the new guy that's kind of stepped in and tried to do some stuff. He's the one that's laid out all of these PDF covers that y'all are seeing, getting all the things in the right spots, the Scion cover, all the placements, and getting that cool, the Scion art, the DC20 magazine with he came up with that idea and he's doing a bunch of stuff with that. So that was awesome. So huge props to Andrew Holcomb. Daryl Jones. If you look at the Kickstarter, Daryl Jones did that. Basically, I commissioned art from a bunch of different artists, about 12 different artists. They're also cited in the art credits now in the 0.8. And he took all that art and they did a whole bunch of art himself. And if you look at the entire Kickstarter, he made every graphic image on there. Daryl Jones, Splattered Ink Games. He's been absolutely huge. He has clocked in at some weird, crazy times and hours. We will message each other when he's in the car driving here and there. He's been going all over the place, having curveballs thrown at him, and he's dealing with them all while dealing with the campaign. So huge props to Daryl for making the Kickstarter look as good as it has, right? And then Victor Navone, Victronicon, is the cover artist, the guy who drew the cover art of DC20, which he's been also an art person of the channel for a long time. Drew a bunch of stuff in Alkinner's Almanac, even some stuff in playbooks and whatnot back in the day. And then Frankie draws. Also, you saw Frankie. I already gave you a shout out, Frankie, who drew a lot of the one-shot covers. And then Lorenzo Papazzoni is the one who's drawn. He's drawn about half the art in the entire DC20 is from Lorenzo, and that's been huge, and he's great. He's the one that draws all the character art and stuff like that, so that's been huge. And then there's the beta development team, because before it was just me and Furious in our little calls, and we were just making DC20, just the two of us, right? And then that was it. And then enter the beta development team. Some minds who came out of the woodworks and have shown themselves on Discord to just have some good ideas, crunch some numbers, have some outside of showcase gaps or showcase holes, or what if this way, what if that way. And so the beta development team is Jado, if you haven't seen these people on Discord, Jado, Mortal, Captain Manette, Silver, and Rules and Rulings, aka Dak. That is the beta development team, the people that are really clocking in some crazy hours. There was the class development tables. I could show you all some spreadsheets. I don't have them pulled up right now, and I'd have to go dig for them. There's some spreadsheets that were made for the character creation progression tables. There's the 0.8 update. Probably 150 hours logged into just that, just the spreadsheets and getting those numbers right. The amount of the game's math and how tight it is now, going from 0.6 to 0.7 was huge. And then going from 0.7 to 0.8 just keeps tightening it up, cleaning it up, balancing it up. Let's go. Heck yeah. Oh, and there's Daryl in the chat. Thanks for letting me join in this wild ride. It has been a wild ride, dude. Yeah. We had no idea. Daryl had no idea he was signing himself up for a $2 million Kickstarter to try and wrangle in here as all the different art assets he's made. Make sure we get that thank you image up. There you go, Daryl. Make sure we get that thank you image up. Y'all are going to see the thank you image because we got 6 minutes. So shout out to them. And then we have the beta review team. The beta review team are part of the beta development team. There's the beta development team, which is like rules. They're developing stuff and making ideas and pitches and proposals and all stuff. And the beta review team gives their sweeping opinions on, and whenever they can, they sweep in, give opinions, sweep out, all that kind of stuff. So Ralorus Maps is one of those guys. He also is the one that came up with some of the stuff and spearheaded a lot of things when it came around the action trackers and getting those commissioned out and finding all that type of stuff. And then Cody from Slow Your Roll. Also Ralorus drew the world map setting for the campaign settings, which we'll probably see sometime in the future. And then Cody from Slow Your Roll, another fellow YouTuber, also comes in and kind of like throw down his 2 cents all the time. And then Fitz from the Pocket Dimension. If y'all are familiar with Pocket Dimension, Fitz has been involved with some things here and there having to do with the game and its involvement in different things, how to say things in certain ways and all that kind of stuff. So there's a little shout out to them. Also a special shout out to another writer, Garrett M. I think I saw Garrett. I think I saw you in the chat here. But Garrett M has been a absolute huge resource for the writing team. Yeah, he's been a massive boon to the writing team to where Garrett M, we called in the big guns. We called in Garrett M, and Garrett M swept in and took that adventure, the hunted adventure. Oof, the dude swept through that thing, writing up stuff, coming up ideas. He's thinking about world building stuff. He's on the world building team. He's thinking about world building stuff. He's throwing ideas out here and there, left, right, and center. So Garrett M, huge shout out there. And then the moderators. I want to shout out my 3 admin moderators of Reno, Wolves of the Night, and Admiral Rum. Huge to be able to help keep organized. And right now, I wouldn't even be able to read these super chats if these guys didn't have them over here, or all the questions that y'all do. And I feel bad for these guys now because there's I don't even know how many people are in the stream right now, but it's insane. Their job's gotten nothing but harder with the amount of people. We used to have 50 people in the live chats, and you don't really need a moderator for that. But now, yeah. So there's that. And then the digital dev team. We got 4 minutes. Digital dev team. The leader of the team is Crunch. He's the digital development leader. Crunch, aka Ken. He's the leading of the team, and it's really cool to see the digital dev team because there's so many different things going on right now. It's a swirl. They're all volunteers that have came together to just want to make some cool stuff for DC20. And y'all are going to be seeing it soon. You'll see some. I'll probably do a little showcase in a video or something like that. It's going to be super awesome. But to see volunteers come out of the woodworks for digital stuff, because I have no idea. I don't have any sort of digital knowledge in my digital bone in my body like that. To see them come out of the woodworks and support like that has been crazy. So also that's where Patrick comes from with the whole Foundry thing we talked about. That's where Nick has been a huge proponent. Nick has spearheaded so many different things having to do with DC20. All of the digital app development stuff, he has been just plowing through that thing, just clocking in like half his day, I feel like, is just doing DC20 stuff. So Nick's been doing a wild amount of stuff there. Also on the team, William Neravar, I'm making sure I say all these right. Neravar, Mech, Kintra, Germund, Bold Not Bald, Black Cat, and Ira. That has been awesome just to see this feels like out of nowhere group just assemble and make digital stuff, which is wildly confusing, right? Just as far as that type of landscape. So that's huge. And then we have my GM assistant / campaign prep, a campaign assistant has been awesome. Is GM Jojo has helped a ton with different stuff with having to do with world building and be able to have throw out different advice on different sorts of things of how to navigate certain aspects of campaign creation of different sort of cultures in the world and how to get that across. Has been a huge help when it comes to just running my games, because you know how much it is running games, much less while I'm doing everything else. So they've taken a lot of stuff off my plate as far as that's concerned. And then the web developer. The website developer that has built the entire website of DC20.com is Fenrir, aka Michael, has been huge. And if we did not have the DC20 website, I wouldn't even be able to shoot. I wouldn't even. The website has been huge to being able to keep this up and going and running. And we just updated the website, added a whole bunch of different stuff, and then that's Fenrir has made a beautiful website. And with 2 minutes to go, we lead to my final shout out. And that is you guys. I know that sounds cheesy or whatever, but you guys are the reason why this is possible. All these other people obviously need to be in place for us to be able to do what we did. But if nobody cared, then that wouldn't happen, right? So, and that supporters goes all the way from patrons to people who back the alpha PDF purchase, super chatters, which I still got to go back and get to. Great example there. YouTube members, which we have a ton of right now out of nowhere. PDF purchasers, if you've ever purchased a PDF on the website ever at all, huge. And then the video viewers. If you just watch these videos, which give them better traction and show it to other people, if you shared a video before, liked a video, anything you've ever done to help a video, whether it was DC20 or back in my early days, y'all made this possible. So with a perfect timing of all of that, I did not do this on purpose, but we are now at the 1 minute mark for the campaign to close. And what a while. Oh, look at that. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. Oh, 58 seconds. That's crazy. Let me pull this thing up. 3, 2, 1, done. Wow, there's confetti. I didn't know that was going to happen. Hey, what? Look at this. Perfect segue there. Good job, Daryl. Thank you from all of us at DC20. And there's everybody, because it's taken all of us. I don't know which one of these you are, and you're like whichever one of these you see yourself the most. That's you in there. And it takes all of us. Let's go. Congrats. Woohoo. Thank you, Aegis. Thank you, Young Fox. Oh, man. That's crazy. And this, yeah, y'all can read it, but I'll say this too. Thank you for bringing this game to life. Oh, in a way I never thought possible. Literally never thought possible. What started off as me typing out rules alone on a borrowed school laptop has now turned into a multi-million-dollar tabletop roleplay game. We did it. And that's a perfect time to say we did it and thank you. From every category of person that I just listed off, we did it. Let's fucking go. Ah, man. Like, this community is full of people. And it's full of excited people and nice people. And y'all, I think y'all have done a great job too of just keeping it kind and nice and positive and respectful. I see all the time in Discord. I don't have to like go around and like shoot that, put up fires and nothing like that. It's just y'all are enjoyable. Like, this whole community is so great. I mean that so much. So there's the journey. We did it. And when I say we, I mean however long you've been here is your version of whatever this journey's been for you, and how long you've known the first, however you found. Leave a comment of where you found out about the Dungeon Coach or DC20 or whatever. I love to hear that stuff, of who sent you over, what found you, what video you saw of mine. Somebody said last week, dual wield video, whatever it was. Is that journey's been different for all of us, and it's all been different time. But for me, it's been a 5-year journey. Starting off, like I said, my biggest picture of this is a school laptop, that I used to type up on Google Documents, rules for things, spreadsheets for this and that about tabletop roleplay games, that's then evolved over time to be an Alcanner's Almanac Kickstarter that got things up into the point to make the leap, and then now the DC20 Kickstarter. To be where we're at now. I have no idea how long this video is, and I don't ultimately care at all. Every videos after this are going to be back focusing on DC20 and showing y'all some reveals and announcements and updates and all the stuff, because oh man, just wait what's coming. I have so many cool announcements and things planned for you guys. I am also going to have a origin story of DC20 about how the game was created from that side of things. We'll see how that's, if y'all are interested in that. But after that video, I'll probably leave all the history and background stuff. Maybe I'll put it on the other channel, the DC20 YouTube channel. Maybe I'll put it there or something. But either way, I want to thank you for believing in me and what me and my team are doing here, to know that we can do something that is great and be one of the TTRPGs that people think about whenever they're going to start their next campaign. Because that's all it is. I also want to say I'm not trying to beat or go against, and I don't see any sort of hostility or competition between other tabletop roleplay games. I just simply would like to be mentioned whenever a group of people are sitting around a table and they're like, oh, you know what? What's the next campaign we're going to do? They just wrapped up their campaign and they have that question of what game system they're going to use for their next campaign. Having DC20 pop into their head whether to decide to use it or not. There we go. That's the goal. And I already feel like for a lot of people now, 20,000 something backers, we've done it. And I was about to do the send-off, but I'm actually going to go back and give y'all the clip of the send-off of that. I just got a knot in my throat here too. Of that live stream where I sent it off and everything was done, and then the Kickstarter closed. It was like midnight after the Kickstarter, and somebody in the chat really hit me with something about stay creative and think outside the box. This time when you say peace, you will truly feel peace. And that really hit me, of the amount of wild ride that this has been, the journey that this has been, the pressure of what all of this has been. To know that that's now lifted and that DC20 is here, and that's why I started this whole video off. DC20 is here to stay, and with that comes an amount of excitement and freedom to just make the game and make it as best as possible, and not have to worry about hitting a certain deadline to be able to meet a thing and be able to get it out so people could then see and then buy the new thing and the new PDF because we are running out of. None of that matters. We can just make a good game. So when I say peace in this clip, it really was an emotional peace for me, and I really did. After the stream stopped, after it all left, I really did feel a weight lift off my shoulders. So I'll once again send it back to past coach for us to send it off. And again, can't say it enough, thank you. Stay creative. Stay creative. Think outside the box. Peace.